In a journey that began in 1960, Grand Seiko has been upholding a distinct standard of excellence in watchmaking. Guided by a blend of precision, artistry, nature, and tradition, the reach has now expanded to worldwide admiration. Within the Iwate Prefecture in Japan, between mountains and greenery, sits a place that is the center for mechanical watchmaking for one of the industry's greats. Today we enter Grand Seiko Studio Shizukuishi.
So I'm here with Wataru Inoue, Joe Kirk, familiar face and a new face, but an unfamiliar place, at least for this channel, Studio Shizukuishi. I have been awaiting coming here. This has been the most requested tour that I'm wanting to go on from people that watch the channel. So let's begin first, because typically when we're talking about watchmaking, we go to the details, but to understand what happens here, I think we have to talk about the studio itself. So could you give us a sense what happens here? When was it constructed? A little bit more of the backstory about this studio.
Really pleasure to meet you. Very excited to introduce our new watch studio here in Shizukuishi. And this Grand Seiko Studio Shizukuishi was opened in July 2020, and to commemorate the 60th anniversary of Grand Seiko. And already the watch enthusiast has visited and here and impressed with our craftsmanship. This facility harmonized with surroundings, wonderful nature. You see a very majestic Mount Iwate,
yes,
and greeneries, and surrounding very clean airs. And here it's a very good environment, make it ideal place for watchmaking, and our craftsmen allowing them to immersed in very delicate assemblies and adjusting.
So you mentioned nature, and I'd like to dwell on that a little bit more, because that's something you'll see a lot when you're looking at Grand Seiko for the first time. Looking more broadly at the space itself, what was some of the considerations of trying to incorporate that core ethos of the brand of nature?
We have looked at Grand Seiko dials for years, right? Mm-hmm. And admired them for what they are as in terms of embodying nature and having all these great attributes in terms of detail and fine elements. But realistically, I mean, look at the view, mm-hmm, right? This is something that you can't buy. And it's beautiful. Mount Iwate, of course, is something that brings us, kind of closer to Grand Seiko, let's say, in terms of our dials. But we also have like the white birch dial, mm-hmm, symbolic of the forest surrounding.
And just for viewers at home, just so they understand the space, this is where mechanical watchmaking for Grand Seiko is taking place. So the 9S calibers. I want to ask this question too, because you hear this language around spring drive. When somebody first thinks about Grand Seiko, I don't think there's a conventional path or always the same path traveled, but many people will think of spring drive first. Why is 9S special and the work that's being done here so special? Like, if you had to give an answer to that.
I think you're right in terms of, people perceive maybe spring drive, first, but in reality, Grand Seiko was born into mechanical watchmaking back in 1960, and there's a very rich tradition and history in passing down that information from generation to generation. And I think that's one of the most important things that you have to consider. We have all these amazing pieces that we've made from 1960 to today, and mechanical watchmaking isn't going anywhere. Traditional, conventional, escapement is still in existence and a big part of the industry today, and we don't want to lose that skill. We want to keep ensuring that from generation to generation, your Grand Seiko can be handed down and maintained, and also we create new. It's always about innovation with Grand Seiko. It doesn't matter if it's spring drive or mechanical or quartz. Everything is pursuing the next level. And that's really what we aim for, especially here in Grand Seiko Studio Shizukuishi, having the best in terms of the best possibilities in mechanical watchmaking.
We have several series for movement, and this 9S6 series is quite 4 hertz movement and very long power reserve, and then 9S8 is a high beat calibers and a very stable accuracy, and we launched a very amazing movement in the 2020s, maybe You may know that.
NSA 5. I got
yes,
the quiz,
it is.
yes.
Familiar. I see.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, this one's NSA5 is a really incredible movement. Achieved very 80 hours duration and a high beat and very reduced thickness.
I don't think it was any coincidence that this caliber came out, and then you also had the building of this space. Like, what did this caliber mean to Grand Seiko?
Yeah, I think you know that the emphasis of stability and high frequency go hand in hand, right? 36,000 vibration per hour is something that Grand Seiko has been pushing since 1968. And with that, you can achieve a more stable rate, less affected by shock or outside factors. So with that, we've also developed a new adaptation for our balance, the Grand Seiko Free Sprung balance. We also have the dual impulse escapement, which is incredibly energy efficient, and that's a huge emphasis in all of our watchmaking, is to be able to really reduce the consuming powers, right? And really make them as efficient as possible to help improve the stability, but also the duration. As Wataru mentioned, we have now 80 hours in a 10-beat movement, which was unheard of 10 years ago.
And one other thing that might be helpful to also mention here is you look at watchmaking on the surface, but then there's the deeper center of it that is all about manufacturing. I think the important thing that I would want to stress is that this is a vertically integrated manufacturer at Grand Seiko. These components that you're seeing finished are not just merely being finished, they're also being produced by the brand. And this is, I think, part of the secret sauce around Grand Seiko and why it's such a special brand. And really separates from on a global watchmaking scale.
Yeah. I mean, we, a vertically integrated manufacturer, and as a vertically integrated manufacturer, we're capable of making all the components, or nearly all the components that you're seeing in front of you here. So this is the kind of the pride of the brand is movement manufacturing. So there's a lot of effort that goes into every component in Grand Seiko.
So another aspect I'd like to show a little more detail about is training here. So can you give us more information about training, apprenticeship, and how that is done here at Grand Seiko?
Sure. And our craftsmen came from local areas. Yeah. And we have some educational department, and they join us without any experience, and then learn the watchmaking and gain some skills and expertise. And also we certified skillful craftsmen as a master. This is our internal human resource development system. And the master have to choose one successor and teaching and training for junior craftsmen.
So there's always the next one in line, so
yeah.
they're always training.
Yes, correct.
And then these awards and honors, these also can span a variety of different specialties.
Yes. That's one of the very one of the unique system for our internal system, not only for assemblers and adjustment watchmakers, also some machine operators, for some artisan in some plating, and also managing the facilities.
Really? Okay. Yeah. And I think that's important too, because if you look around much of the industry, you'll see this assembly line type of approach, and people get forgotten in the mix. When it comes to watchmakers, I think that's an important way to show pride and appreciation for all the people that take part in the process of making these watches.
Yeah. We almost all process about manufacturing some components all in-house. This is stud screws, small, stud screws.
Okay.
So it goes in the balanced stud is for the hairspring.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And for scale here, is that a grain of rice next to it?
Yes. Compared to a grain of rice, you see just how much tiny it is. Yeah, 0.3 mm.
Wow.
And you see the cutting thread, and craftsman pick it up with some using tweezer and screwdrivers. This is one of the crucial components, the balance. You see, this one's a very tiny balance wheels. And we also adjusting the balance. Like we measured some weight distributions in cut off, some heavier point, and then gravity point, exactly come to the centers. And then balance wheels, moving very smoothly and regularly in any positions. This is created by MEMS, microelectromechanical system, to increase the energy efficiencies. Yes.
And that efficiency is the key word when you're looking at a lot of 9SA5 and a lot of 9S calibers. So I mean, this weight and might not seem like a lot, but these hollowing out of smaller components is something that's moving, in this case, 10 times per second. I mean, that's a lot of things to keep in consideration and trying to reduce as much weight as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, here you see more of a conventional design of an escape wheel, but by MEMS manufacturing, we're able to reduce the weight, as Wataru mentioned, and create a very efficient escapement. But when we developed 9SA5, that's improved upon by efficiency by 20% compared to the 9S8 series high beat. So really a dramatic improvement in efficiency.
To see where Grand Seiko watches are assembled is one thing, but to fully appreciate the meticulous effort required, one must understand the thought process of their world-class artisans.
伊藤勉です。1991年に、この盛岡精工工業に入社して、初めはクォーツ時計の組み立てを配属されました。で2000年から、機械式時計の組み立ての職場に入りまして、その後は機械式時計の組み立てをずっとやってます。で今は、更新の指導をしながら、キャリバー QS 系の超速機、主に超速機の調整を担当しています。高度な組み立て技術を要求されるグランドセイコーの組み立て師を、多く輩出することができているってことは大きなやりがいを感じます。自分が教わってきたやり方では今の若い作業者には通用しないこともありますので、いろいろと試行錯誤をしながら教育しています。
はい、鈴木博臣と申します。私はですね、2009年に盛岡精工工業に入社しまして、同年にはですね、当時の時計組み立て職場の方に配属されました。2011年頃にはですね、師匠である伊藤さんの指導を受けまして、現在はキャリバー QS のヒゲゼンマイの調整を担当しております。さらに最近ではですね、いろいろな技術の底上げを目的にですね、ザラ組であるムーブメント組み立ても担当しております。その師匠である伊藤さんに認めていただくことです。伊藤さんの指導は厳しいものですけれども、ヒゲゼンマイの調整の作業を見ていただいてですね、 OK をもらえた時はすごく嬉しいですし、またそれが自信になってですね、作業の方にも臨めるようになりますので、さらに質の高い作業を行えるように日々精進しております。
1998年に、GS の機械式のムーブメントが復活した時は、私はまだクォーツの組み立てをしておりました。ただ社内法等によって、それが知らされまして、機械式 GS の復活はすごく興奮したのを覚えています。また、QS6 系では、72時間もう長いロングリザーブですね、すごく魅力的でしたし、私基本的に 45GS がとても好きなので、それの後継となるQS8K の受信度のムーブメントにはすごく精度が高く組み立て終了後精度が高くなったのを、覚えてます。その何年か後になりますけども、VFA の復活、これに携わることができまして、精度調整したのもやりがいを感じました。あとここは数年ですと QS 英語ですね、なんといっても、脱進機が新しく、開発され、デュアルインパルスっていう脱進機、この開発っていうのはすごく興奮したのも覚えてます。で、脱進機の開発っていうのはなかなかできるものではなくてですね、世界でも数社、ほんの数社の中に成功が入ったっていうのはすごく誇りに感じています。QS 英語に関してはツインバレルを採用しているんですけども、10振動でやっぱり80時間の、パワーリザーブっていうのは なかなか実現はできないんですよね。で、新機構の、脱進機デュアルインパルスの開発があって初めて可能になったということです。で、組み立てで分かるんですけども雁木車アンクル等の脱進機周りっていうのはすごく軽量掴んでみると軽量で、コンパクトです。で、それがゆえに伝達効率がすごく良くなってますしなんといっても脱進機誤差の発生を抑えているってことが分かります。あとはアンクルの爪の調整もクラブツースと、若干違いますんで、そこが調整時間の短縮にもつながっています。おかげさまでグランドセイコーの市場は海外でも大きく広がっております。数多くのグランドセイコーを世に送り出すためにも次世代の作業者匠を一人でも多く育てていければなと思います。
まず習い始めはですねその指導者の方のやり方を 100%、実行するように心がけております。自分なりのですねアドリブを最初から入れてしまうとですね作業の本質を見失ってしまうのでまずちゃんと作業を理解してからそれがまず一つともう一つありましてまた常に自分で考えて行動することです。何かを実行する際はですね思考しながら行うことでアイディアや改善につながりやすくなると思っておりますのでそれがより一層高い作業に結びつくと思っております。